Hi guys, welcome to my channel. This is part 2 of my 2-part Georgia series. I spent a month in the country, so I really wanted to do it justice. This video focuses on the Khaketi region, which is the wine region. It focuses on the capital Tbilisi, the mountainous region Kazbegi, as well as Borjomi. In this video, you'll get to see 2 beautiful cave towns, the wild, barren nature of the Kazbegi region, as well as an epic 2-day horse trek through the Borjomi mountains. So I hope you stay tuned, and without further ado, here we go. These candle-shaped candies are called chirkela. They're a popular Georgian treat. Its main ingredient is grapes, and they are filled with nuts and super delicious to eat, especially on your way to the wine region of Khaketi, which is where they have some of the best wine in the world. A lot of Georgian wine is made underground, which is really interesting because it's not the common practice of making wine. The capital of Georgia is Tbilisi, and it's one of the most unique places I've ever seen. They have these beautiful sulfur baths that are right in the middle of the city. They're trying to integrate with the European Union, so there's a lot of European flair in their modern sectors, but they also kept to a lot of their own traditions and traditional architecture. There are these amazingly architecturally designed houses that hang out over the river, and if you get the chance, I highly recommend going down the river on a river cruise. There's tons of companies sitting in the square that are happy to take you. The cave town of Tbilisi is the perfect day trip from Tbilisi. It is identified by archaeologists as one of the oldest urban settlements in Georgia. It has architecture from the early Iron Age to the late Middle Ages, and the earliest traces of human presence in Tbilisi date back to the end of the 2nd millennium BC. It was a proper town where they had a church and a marketplace, and people were quite modernized at the time. It ended during the Mongol raids in the 14th century, where it was virtually abandoned. The city of Mesheka is the old capital of Georgia, and my favorite part about it is that it was actually on the Silk Road. This is the first time I've ever been on a remnant of the Silk Road. The Silk Road is a network of trade routes linking China with the West. The Kazbegi region is absolutely beautiful. It's only a 3-hour marshuka ride north of Tbilisi. It's very easy to get to. It's the opposite of Svaneti, as it's a little bit more barren, but it's more of a brownish wild nature. I highly recommend this hike. This is called the Trousseau Valley hike. It's a 10 kilometers in and out hike, and animals just roam freely, and it's got incredible scenery, so highly recommend this hike. This hike is on the border of South Ossetia, which is an occupied region of Georgia declaring self-independence, as well as Russia. So when you get to the end, you end up at a monastery complex, and you can see the military bases separating the different countries. Georgia has 2 regions that consider themselves autonomous: the Republic of Abkhazia and South Ossetia. Abkhazia is in the west, South Ossetia is in the north and central. Both territories have had severe conflicts with Georgia, resulting in tragedies. Populations in and adjoining these territories were hit especially hard. Mistakes were made by all sides involved. Overcoming that suffering is the central goal to promoting reconciliation. After the Kazbegi region, I decided to come down to Borjomi and do a couple tours. So I did the tour going to Vardzia, the second cave town you'll see, and along the way we visited a few monasteries, as well as the incredible Rapati fortress that is way ahead of its time. I believe it's only about $5 for a guided audio tour, and it was well worth the money. Vardzia is the second cave town, and it's not as old as Tbilisi, but it is much bigger, so it is really interesting to walk through, and you should definitely do this on your travels through Georgia. I really wanted to do something big to end my trip to Georgia, so I decided to do a 2-day horse trek with a guide. It was just me and the guide. We were able to trek up this mountain and go camping by this beautiful lake. As we were camping, the tents froze over and it was quite cold, and we had some issues with sleeping pads, and I was nowhere near as prepared as I should be, but I regret nothing, and I highly recommend them. They're Borjomi horse tours, and I will link their name in the description if you want to go. They take very good care of their patrons, and it was a pleasure to ride with them. The Georgian saddles are different than any saddle I've ever seen, and I try to ride in most of the countries I go to, and I can honestly say that I think this has been the most comfortable, especially for how long we went. I ended my trip back in Khaketi, as you can see, and you can see the 1-day-old kitten that they adopted in the beginning of my Georgia part 1 is now 1 month old at the same hostel. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video.
So this is my last night in Georgia, and I have sleep exhaustion. I'm sore everywhere. It's been a crazy few days, and I'm so sad to be leaving, but so excited to be moving on to my next adventure. So I'm gonna spend a week in London and then headed to Kenya. Woo!
If you've made it this far, I really appreciate all of your support. Please, if you like my stuff, like, comment, subscribe. It means the world to me. So this Thursday, I'm actually going to be dropping a intermittent video between my weekly videos, kind of showing you where I'm at, because I am American, but I have been living in South Africa for almost 5 months now. So I'll tell you a little bit about how I ended up here, and I'll see you guys then.